Wake up, wake up, wake up. Good morning.
I'm not sorry for where I've come from, just where that's all behind me. Grown too strong, I don't go down easy. Living for grace the best I can. I'm a Jesus girl. All the way. I'm a Jesus girl. You changed my heart. I'm a Jesus girl. Ooh, fall forward, up and over. If I go, it's only higher. No matter where I stand, it's always on the Lord's side, 'cause I've been
What's up, y'all? It is Wednesday, so y'all know what time it is. It's time for the Wednesdays Work for Women's show. Yes, I am so excited. You know your girl is a buckling, and I hope thus far your week has been flipping along fantabulously, that your day is just rocking this entire planet. Because, you know, what we do now, show up, 100 proof, don't let nobody kill our vibe, don't let nobody steal our joy, because our attitudes, reactions, and responses is our bad. And so we get to dictate the kind of day we're going to have. Sometimes that can be a little tricky because, you know, get in my field, stuff ain't going right. Mama got a light bill, you know, shoes due, all kind of stuff that we got to do. And it can be hard. So we are people of gratitude. So we can always flip through the Rolodex of our mind, grab that thing to be grateful and thankful for, and that will shift our moods so we can get about the business of being the highest version of ourselves, wherever it is we may have to show up today. Anywho, so have you ever heard, why do you, that's just the way it is. I just have to deal with it. You know, that's just what it is. That's just how they are. Okay, get all that. True, 100 grand. But what I am going to submit to you to think about is, why is it that we say that's just the way it is, instead of they're just going to have to deal with me? That's just who I am. You see that? It's a different connotation. Like, we're so quick to say, I just have to deal with it. Instead of saying, no, this thing just got to deal with me. See, I think the problem with some of us is we are going to have to start not hiding who we are. We're going to have to start not going along with the dominant culture, the dominant whatever it is that we're involved in, that's the culture of the place. We're going to have to stop just going along saying that's just how it is, and start saying, no. That might be how it is, but this is how I am. This is who I am, and I'm going to stand in that. Does that make sense? Like, we're called to be voices to these different places, but when we get to these different places, the voice we start to use is the one we're emulating and blending in with the voices that's already there. Why we don't see the changes we want to see? Because the change arrives, but then the change assimilates into the dominant culture. And here's what you got to know. It's time out for people saying that, oh, you're just too much, or you just got to get along to fit. To get along, you have to fit in. You have to go in and assimilate. That's crazy as heck. It's not changing, because the change is not being who we are supposed to be. It's just going along with the popular culture. Just because it's popular don't mean it's right. I know for sure that when you start a thing and you say, okay, I'm just going to get in to fit in just for right now, just so I can get in good, and then I will make the change. 99.9% of the time, that change never comes. You just change and morph into what was there. You see, you at 100 proof is who you are supposed to be. I think it is a disrespect to God the Creator to question the essence of who I am as a person, my skin tone, my personality, my voice. For me to have to morph it and assimilate it into something is a disrespect to God the Creator. If I was supposed to be that, don't you think I would have been that? We don't need the validation that we're so I don't want to say hungry for, but so indomitable with thinking that that's how it is that we have to be to get anything done, or to shift cultures, or to break generational curses, or to be the change that we are seeking. The mere fact that you're here is validation enough. That's all the validation we need. And so, one, we have to be unapologetically ourselves, y'all. And we have to be like, no. That's not just the way it is, and I have to deal with it. No. That has to deal with me. That has to deal with me. I'm not saying wild out. I'm not saying, go in there and, just be with disrespect and just, you just gonna have to, it's my way or the highway, and you just gonna have to accept it. That's not what I'm talking about at all. I am, however, talking about, instead of not being you at 100 proof, because that's just the way it is and they can't handle it, and they may not be able to handle it, but that's not your problem. That's not your bad. Maybe the problem is they need to learn how to handle it. They need to broaden their perspective. They need to do a thing. Everything is not we're broken and we're toxic and we need to change. No, some stuff is it needs to change, but it will never change if we are the people that don't go in and be the change, and be the change as our authentic self, instead of getting in there and not changing and just blending in. Everybody want to be, beige. Why? It's just such a disrespect to our individuality, to the essence of who we are. There is no one like us. There is not another you. Even if you're a twin, it's not the exact same. There's a reason for that. And yes, people might not be able to handle it, and they might have a problem with it, but that is okay. We can't exist the same if we're going to be true to ourselves and our authentic self. I had one of my mentors, and she says, we've got to be, show up as ourselves, even in light of, even like, let's say it's on your job, even if you could get fired, even if the worst could happen. You can't be afraid of that. We're so busy being afraid of some things, not understanding that your individuality, your unique self, that is what actually solidifies your spot. That's what solidifies. But you can't be scared. You can't dim it down your light. You can't water it down because you're like, well, I don't want to, be the odd man out or the odd woman out. I don't want to stand out. Or I don't want to be different. I don't want to be deemed difficult. That's such gaslighting, and some of that is such bull to keep you in line, to keep you to just go along with the flow. Looking for answers. They're looking for answers, and you got it, but you're too scared to speak out because it appears to be going against the grain. That is crazy. You got to be willing to just be you at all costs, because you're you. It is time out for, we just have to deal with it. And it's apt time for us to be like, no, it's going to have to deal with me. Changing our mindsets like that is what's going to change us, and that's going to enrich and empower yourself, because then you'll realize that at the end of the day, what nobody can take away from me is me. What nobody can't be is me. What nobody can't do is do that thing that only I can do in the way I can do it. That's empowering. I'm not saying that I'm better. I'm just saying that it can't be done like I do it unless I do it. And so I'm sorry, sir, ma'am, I can't show up at a version, a watered down version, inauthentic. That's how my authenticity is what it is that you want from me. Because if you wanted me there, and this is at a job, and relationship, a civic connection, your political, anything that you're doing, your relationships, anything that you're doing, what they attracted to at first is you. What they've seen is you being you. And so it behooves you not to then get in there and then just assimilate, and then just to go on in and not stand out and be like everybody else. That's how you become expendable. But if you show up as you, now that they can change it. They can get another one. They can get a different version, but it won't be you. Oh, well, then we'll get, labels. I don't want to fall into the stereotype. I don't want to be the stereotype. I don't want to be, what they expected. I don't want to be deemed difficult. I don't want to be, deemed different. Let me tell you something. A label is not a limitation. In a perception, you're going to have to push past perceptions, because perceptions can sometimes be wrong. By you not being you, you're actually playing into their perception. And once you do that, once you've taken away your authenticity to speak past the perception, they have no choice but to keep riding with the perception that you're already afraid that they're going to have against you anyway. I'm just saying, y'all. We have to stop silencing ourselves. The world is dying for your voice, for your idea. The world is dying for you to be you. I love what Rihanna said. She said, once you love yourself, it doesn't matter who loves you. Once you love yourself, you don't want to be anyone else but you. Good, bad, ugly. All that makes up you. Once you love you, you love that. And so even in labels, it's not a limitation. It's just a label. And then here's the thing. Maybe you're like, you know what, but I've been doing this for so long. This is how I do, this is who I am. This is how I've been doing. I've done it wrong. I did wrong. And so I have to be this because I did that thing. I bombed it before, or I sucked before. So let me tell you something. Just because you did it wrong, or you were doing it wrong in the past, doesn't mean you cannot advocate against it now. And that doesn't make you a hypocrite, y'all. You grew. Don't let folk use your past to invalidate your current mindset. That's what they try to do. Oh, I remember this. Oh, you did that. Oh, this is this. Yeah. That may be. But now I have grown. I have evolved. I have matured. I have done it wrong, so now I get it right. And it ain't being a hypocrite. It ain't being fake. I just don't rock like that. I don't believe that anymore. It's funny how if you ask my nieces and nephew, they will say, Oh, and Champagne was mean. She used to beat us. She whooped us. And when I tell y'all, I used to tear them up. I mean, for, they would being kids, dirtying up the house, dirtying up a room. I'd clean a room and I'd whoop them for every room I clean. I clean and then I go get them all and I whoop them. Clean another room, I whoop them. Back then, I know they couldn't stand me. They might have loved me, but they couldn't stand me because I was very, very strict. I was in that mindset of, I thought that was the right thing to do. Mind you, I thought that was the right thing to do. Fast forward, now I have a grandson that I raise, and everybody is just like, you're not whooping him like you should. You used to beat us all the time. You're not you're not as mean as you used to be. He just runs all over you. Does that make me a hypocrite? No, I just grew, and what I thought was right then, I don't feel like that's right now, and that's okay. It doesn't invalidate my current mindset. It's just saying, okay, I've grew more, I've changed my mind. Which can happen. You should always be learning. You should always be growing. I mean, some of the stuff we're wrong about. And once we understand that we are, or there's a better way to do it, ain't nothing to it but to do it. Flip the script. It's okay. There ain't no shame in the game. Ain't no being no hypocrite. I thought that was right then, and that's what I did then, and I've come to find out that was wrong as hell, and there's a better way, so I'm going to do it this way. We got to stop letting stuff dictate what we're going to do, how we're going to think, and how we're going to move out here. Some stuff you're thinking that it's not even an original thought. It's not your thought. It's just because that's what everybody else thinks. That's what everybody else do. What you think about it? What is you, and what do you need to grow past? What do you see currently in you that is you can't keep saying, well, that's just me. That's just how I am. No, flip it. Do something about it. Just because that's the way you've done it, always done it, doesn't mean that's the way it has to stay. And that's just because that's the way you've always been. That doesn't mean that's the way you have to stay. Just because you thought one way about a thing, now you've changed your mind, doesn't mean, that you have to keep doing it the same way because that's how you've always done it. No. Be authentically you. Be unapologetically you. I beg of you, y'all. There is nobody that can do you like you. Nobody can beat you at being you. And we got some stuff out here we need to do. We got some cultures to flip. We've got some things that have been done wrong that is crazy as hell that need to be turned around. And we can't do it if we're not showing up as ourselves with our ideas, with new eyes, with fresh perspectives, and be willing at the risk of being looking silly, at the risk of being shot down, at the risk of being talked about or invalidated or knocked light, at the risk of all that, showing up and saying, no. I don't have to just deal with that. That's because that's the way it is. No, it's going to have to be with me because this is the way I am and this is the way it should be and what it's going to be. And that's not being arrogant. That's not being cocky. That's being honest. We're so dishonest. Y'all know y'all see some stuff that's going on in your life, in your circles, in your friend groups, at your jobs, at your churches, at your civic organizations, in your seat you're sitting. You know some stuff is wrong, but you will not go against the grain and be counterculture and speak truth to power and let the truth be known at the cost and the risk of losing that connection, losing a couple of dollars, losing a couple of endorsements, losing a fan. Y'all better cut it out because at the end of the day, you're going to die with many regrets. And the one thing we can't get back is time. And so I feel like the time is now for us to start standing up and saying, the reality is, I don't just have to deal with it. It has to deal with me. Y'all be blessed. Queen It is out. go to champagneloyd.com. You can pick it up. The Victory Retreat is coming up in September. You can go and cop your tickets now, and there will be more to come about regarding that. But go check out champagneloyd.com, and you'll see where I'm going to be. I have a couple of things I'll be attending. I'll be speaking at one, some women's things that we're having going on, so be on the lookout for that. And I just thank you all so very much for your support. Y'all have showed out. A girl don't have I don't have the words. I didn't know so many people supported, and I am eternally grateful. I thank you, and I see you, and I sure appreciate you, and it's only up from here. So y'all be blessed. Your biggest fan praying for you. I'll see you next week. Don't forget to pick up your copy of Queening at champagneloyd.com or register for the event.